Hey fight fans, welcome back to the channel. If you thought you knew what to expect when Terrance McKinney steps into the octagon, think again. At UFC 323, Chris Duncan just threw the lightweight division a massive curveball, and we need to talk about it. Everyone knows McKinney's game plan: all gas, no brakes, and get it done in the first round. And for a minute there, it looked like business as usual. He came out like a hurricane, tagging Duncan early and hard. Duncan was in serious trouble, rocked and on the defensive. Honestly, most fighters would have crumbled under that kind of pressure. McKinney was throwing bombs, and it seemed like it was only a matter of seconds before the referee would have to step in. You could see Duncan was hurt, stumbling back, trying to cover up as McKinney swarmed him. This is classic T-Rex. He smells blood, and he goes for the kill. But this is where the story takes a turn. This is what separates the good from the great. Chris Duncan isn't just tough, he's incredibly composed. Even while he was getting battered, he was still intelligently defending. He kept his hands up, he moved his head, and most importantly, he was waiting for his opening. He weathered the storm. He took McKinney's best shots, absorbed that initial blitz, and stayed in the fight. That's a test of chin, heart, and fight IQ all rolled into one. Many fighters would have panicked, but Duncan stayed calm in the chaos. Then, the tide started to shift. McKinney, having thrown so much energy into that initial onslaught, started to slow just a fraction, and that's all Chris Duncan needed. He started to fire back with some powerful counter shots of his own. It wasn't just random, swinging. These were calculated, hard-hitting punches. You could see McKinney was surprised. He was the one used to putting people in danger, not the other way around. Duncan connected with a couple of clean punches that snapped McKinney's head back. Suddenly, the hunter became the hunted. The finishing sequence was a thing of beauty. Duncan saw his moment and landed a devastating elbow right on McKinney's jaw. It was a perfectly timed, brutal shot that sent McKinney crashing to the canvas. The momentum had completely swung. Duncan didn't hesitate. He followed McKinney to the ground and unleashed a furious storm of ground and pound. Now, these weren't the one-shot knockout blows you might expect, but the sheer volume and accuracy were doing immense damage. Referee Mark Goddard was watching closely, giving McKinney every chance to recover, which is a credit to his experience. McKinney is known for being tough, and he did manage to survive the initial ground and pound barrage and tried to get back to his feet. But Duncan's fight IQ was on full display again. Instead of just trying to punch his way to a finish and potentially gassing himself out, he saw another opportunity. As McKinney tried to scramble, Duncan transitioned flawlessly. He locked up a tight anaconda choke. It was slick, it was quick, and it was deep. Once he had that hold cinched in, there was no escape for McKinney. McKinney had no choice but to tap, and just like that, at 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the very first round, the fight was over. Chris Duncan had done the unthinkable. He took on one of the most explosive first-round finishers in the sport, survived his initial onslaught, and then finished him. So what does this mean for the lightweight division? For Chris Duncan, this is massive. This victory marks his 4th consecutive win, pushing his record to an impressive 15-2. He's no longer just a prospect. He's a legitimate dark horse contender in one of the most stacked divisions in all of MMA. He proved he has a granite chin, serious power in his hands, and a high-level submission game. That's a dangerous combination for anyone at 155 pounds. He called his shot, walked into the fire, and came out with a statement-making victory. We have to start putting his name in the conversation with the other rising stars of the division. For Terrance McKinney, this is a tough pill to swallow. His 2-fight winning streak is snapped, and his record now stands at 17-8. But here is a crazy statistic that just shows what kind of fighter he is. This loss extends his streak of fights not going past the halfway point of the first round to 6. And get this, in his entire 25-fight professional career, he has never, ever gone to the judges' scorecards. He lives and dies by the sword, and that's why fans love to watch him fight. You know you're going to get action from the opening bell. This loss is a setback, for sure, but a fighter with his finishing ability and exciting style will always be a major threat, and will undoubtedly be back. What an incredible performance from Chris Duncan. He faced down the boogeyman of the first round and came out on top. It was a fight that had everything: early danger, a dramatic comeback, a brutal knockdown, and a slick submission finish. This is why we love this sport. Let me know what you guys thought of the fight down in the comments. Who should Chris Duncan fight next? Is he a future title contender? And what's next for Terrance McKinney? Thanks for watching. Make sure to like this video, and subscribe to the channel for more MMA analysis. I'll see you in the next one.